Sup, nerd? I bought this book 10 years ago and it changed my playing 9 months ago. It's like the Bible, it's cheap to buy, there's millions of copies, but you never really read it once you buy it. That being said, when I finally opened it up and tried to get a grip on what was inside, I had a revelation. Alright, no more Bible jokes. Monster Scales and Modes is only like 40 pages long, but it literally has everything you need to not suck as bad as you do right now. So why would such a small, cheap book be so powerful? I'm so glad you asked, Kyle. At first glance, it's just printed pieces of the internet, pages and pages and pages of tablature. But if you learned everything in this book, you'd be able to convince people you're a shred wizard. You are not, and you won't be, but at least it'll feel like it, homie. The full major scale, the minor scale, the blues scale, both pentatonic scales, all of your modes, and some exotic scales are what this book has to offer. It's 0% fluff and 100% information. Every scale is taught in every position, and you can visually see those connecting all up and down the fingerboard. All that to be said, there are two things that I really took away from this book that really opened up the fretboard for me and got me out of that A minor pentatonic purgatory. Not that there's anything wrong with that, bud. I bet your A minor pentatonic sounds great in your basement to your cat. Say hi, Jax. The first realization was this, and tell me down in the comments if this sounds familiar. When music teachers teach you scales, pentatonic is generally what they start with because it's easier. And then they may teach you box 2, which is this little slide up into the next section. Now, is this information valuable? Duh, boo-boo, of course it is, but it does come with one giant flaw. Most people, when they learn that, just go, oh, okay, so if I want a solo, I just play the pentatonic here, and if I want to break out of that box, I just slide up 2 frets into this really narrow box number 2, and bang! Music! Well, seeing all of this without an instructor, just being able to look at it plain and kind of interpret it myself, all of a sudden it was like, wait a second, yeah, the full major and minor scales are kind of difficult to play, but the pentatonic scales exist in those. Like, as you learn these full scales, you are technically also learning the pentatonic scales for each one in every position. You just gotta take out a few notes to get there. Yes, I fully recognize how embarrassing it is that a 30-year-old is posting this as an epiphany on the internet, but here we are! Hi, I'm Zach and I'm a late bloomer. Imagine if when you were younger you had just taken the time to learn the full scales, major and minor, all up and down the neck. Like, it would have taken a bit more time, but at that point, there is no box 1, box 2. Like, the whole thing's a box. You have access to all of it. You're no longer limited to string sets or anything like that. You just have the whole fretboard right there, and if you learn where all the root notes are, like, it's just such a better way to go about learning the instrument than this is box 1, and this is, you know what I'm saying, I'm kind of ranting right now. Not to mention, the 5 major and the 5 minor scale shapes are basically the same thing, and the only thing that really separates them is where you choose to play them on the neck. What? Yeah, homie, that was the second revelation. Literally half of this entire book, the major scale pages, the minor scale pages, and the entirety of all the modes, except for Locrian, it's all the same 5 shapes. The only thing that's changing is what section of the fingerboard you're playing them on. Now that one felt like a real jab in the ass. Like, you mean to tell me that we can get that much mileage out of just 5 shapes? Yeah, Braj, that's what I'm saying. Can't you see why my guitars are scared of this sacred slab of savagery? They were so comfortable being played with 0% confidence or flexibility. But now I'm throwing it down every single night. All shred, all gas, no brakes, no lube. What the f? Yeah, check it, dork. So this is the full A minor scale in its root position. Now I'm gonna move up a couple frets and play the next position in the full A minor scale. Does that scale shape look familiar to you? Yes, it does. That is the same exact scale shape as A major, but just not in the root position. When I play it right here, this is the next position of A minor, but if I play that same shape back in the root position, it is major. So the same exact shape can be major or minor, and the only thing that separates it is a couple frets. That's what I'm saying. And that just keeps repeating throughout this entire book. Except for the blues scale and the exotic scales, it's kinda all the same shit. And to make that even crazier, your full scale shapes, all of your triad chord shapes also exist in those scale patterns. And that opens up the fretboard even more, but if I went through all that right now, I wouldn't have another video to upload later. Do yourself a favor and go buy this book, or something similar, or just rip it off the internet. I don't care what you do, you little deviant. At this stage in your playing, once you get a grasp on like, okay, we're kind of just playing the same shit, it's just changing where on the fretboard we're playing it, the whole thing will really open up and start to make a lot of sense. Or it won't, and you'll be stuck at this level of playing forever. Either way, dicks out for Harambe. My name is Zach, this has been AudiblyDumb, thank you so much for watching, and as always, if I say something's cool, it's 'cause it fucking is.